Have you ever wondered why this video appeared to you? Here, now, among countless others you could have scrolled past. Of all the moments, why this one? Why now, not later? That question alone opens a hidden door within you. Perhaps it's not random. Perhaps it's an invitation disguised as coincidence. You feel it, don't you? Something subtle, yet undeniable. Your breath softens, your heartbeat slows, and a gentle stillness rises within. It's the kind of stillness that doesn't ask for attention but demands awareness. This isn't just a video, it's a signal, a resonance, a frequency that found its match in you. Because you've reached a point where something deeper refuses to be ignored. You've played the roles, followed the noise, obeyed the patterns. But now, something ancient inside you is stirring, whispering, reminding you of a truth long buried beneath survival and expectations. Once, there was someone like you, lost in distraction, floating through routines, chasing meaning but finding mirrors instead. Until one moment, a message arrived. Not loud, not dramatic, but clear. It was a simple nudge that said, "Wake up," not from sleep, but from forgetting. And that's where you are now, on the edge. Not broken, not late, just ready to reclaim what was never truly gone, just hidden. This journey doesn't begin with effort, it begins with remembrance. And right now, something is being remembered. Not learned, not acquired. Remembered. That's the difference. You are not starting from zero. You are returning. Returning to the creator you've always been. Returning to the observer behind every thought. The presence behind every breath. The awareness behind every version of you. What happens next is not a lesson. It is a reunion. A path back to the self that watches quietly, patiently, lovingly, waiting for you to look back. So if something inside you is leaning in, paying closer attention, don't resist. That's not coincidence. That's your future pulling you forward. The shift has already begun. All you have to do is keep watching, keep breathing, and most of all, keep remembering. So now that you've remembered, truly remembered, who you are beneath the noise, it's time to lift the veil and see what's really shaping your world. Not from mystery, but from mechanism. Because what if your reality isn't something happening to you, but something collapsing because of you? Science calls it the observer effect. It reveals that particles, what we think of as matter, don't take form until they're seen, focused upon, expected. Until consciousness touches them, they remain pure potential, floating as invisible waves of possibility. Your awareness, right now, is doing exactly that. It's not watching reality, it's defining it. So let me ask you something bold. If your focus is the trigger that decides what becomes real, then what is your current life saying about your inner attention? What emotions have been your most frequent visitors? What thoughts have quietly repeated so many times they became a structure? You see, there is a field, a vast ocean of intelligent energy, responding not to your wishes, but to your consistency. This is the quantum field. It holds all potential, all outcomes, all timelines. But it doesn't respond to need. It responds to frequency. Every idea you hold emits a signal. Like a radio tower, each belief broadcasts into this invisible field, and the field simply echoes back what it receives. So if you've been wondering why certain loops keep repeating, it's not punishment. It's precision. Every time you worry, fear, doubt, or hesitate, the signal sharpens. Every time you focus with clarity, trust, presence, or vision, the broadcast changes. Reality is not a fixed script. It's a mirror, not of what you wish for, but of what you continuously tune into. And your mind, your attention, your perception, that's the dial. Adjust it, and the reflection adjusts with you. This is not magic. It's measurement. The moment you choose to observe with intention, the wave collapses into form. The formless becomes solid. The unseen becomes your experience, which means the life you've known is just one channel. And you, the observer, hold the remote. Shift your focus, and the world will follow. It always does. Now that you understand how attention shapes the field, there's one more truth you need to feel, not just know. Because while your mind may direct the signal, your heart is the amplifier. And it's not a metaphor. The human heart produces an electromagnetic field up to 5,000 times more powerful than the brain. This field extends several feet beyond the body, interacting with the space around you. But its true magic lies not in its reach, but in its rhythm. When you feel gratitude, compassion, love, or presence, the heart's rhythm becomes coherent, smooth, balanced, harmonious. This coherence sends a clear, organized signal to the brain, creating a loop that upgrades your entire nervous system. It's not guesswork, it's measurable. The HeartMath Institute has studied this connection for decades, showing that heart-brain alignment leads to improved clarity, intuition, and emotional stability. In other words, when your heart and brain are in sync, your entire frequency rises. This isn't about thinking better thoughts. It's about generating elevated emotion. Because emotion is energy in motion, and coherent energy creates coherent reality. That's why when you felt truly aligned, even for a moment, things seem to flow, time stretches, opportunities appear. It's not luck, it's resonance. To access this state, you don't need hours. Just 2 minutes. Close your eyes. Focus on your heart. Slow your breath. Inhale for 5. Exhale for 5. And as you breathe, recall a memory that fills you with appreciation. Feel it, not as a concept, but as a sensation. This is called quick coherence. It shifts your state from chaos to harmony, from reaction to regulation. And from this inner stillness, something greater awakens. Not outside, but within. A deeper presence, a higher self, a guiding intelligence that doesn't speak in words, but in knowing. When the heart and mind join as one, you don't chase alignment. You become it. You don't force change. You embody it. And from that space, reality doesn't need to be controlled. It begins to reflect the rhythm you've already chosen, not by chance, by coherence, by design. When the heart and mind align, your frequency becomes clear. But even in that coherence, something deeper still pulls the strings. And unless you become aware of it, your conscious choices will remain surface-level illusions. Science shows that your subconscious makes decisions nearly 7 seconds before your conscious mind believes it has chosen. That means by the time you think you're in control, the command has already been given. Not by logic, not by intention, but by habit. Patterns rooted so deeply, they feel like instincts, but they are not truth. They are programs, and most of them were installed long before you knew you had a choice. The startling reality is this. Up to 95% of your daily actions are not decisions. They are loops. Loops shaped by fear of discomfort, fear of rejection, fear of change. Your mind avoids anything unfamiliar, even if it holds everything you've ever wanted. It mistakes discomfort for danger and keeps you in the known, even if the known is unfulfilling. You may think you're waiting for the right time, but often it's not time you lack, it's safety. The brain fears the unknown more than failure, so it creates distractions, doubt, overthinking, endless preparation with no action. Think of the person who plans every detail but never begins, who gathers knowledge but avoids momentum. It's not because they are lazy, it's because the subconscious has convinced them that safety lies in stillness. But stillness, without purpose, becomes stagnation. And stagnation is the silent thief of destiny. You are not missing capability. You are navigating blindfolded through patterns you did not choose. Biases, assumptions, memories, shaping your perception before you can question them. But now you know. You see the hidden map. And awareness is the first crack in the cycle. When you pause and observe the impulse instead of obeying it, you reclaim power. Not by force, but by clarity. You are not your past responses. You are the space between stimulus and reaction. In that space, the future is written. And for the first time, you are holding the pen. Once you begin to notice the patterns of your subconscious, another layer reveals itself. It's quieter, more subtle, but far more persuasive. It's the internal dialogue that speaks not as a stranger, but in your own voice. The whisper that says you're not enough, that you'll fail again, that others are better, smarter, stronger. You've heard it before. So often, it feels like truth. But pause for a moment and ask, who taught you to speak to yourself that way? That voice wasn't born with you. It was shaped by criticism, rejection, comparison. It was formed during moments when safety was threatened or love felt conditional. These echoes are not yours. They are imprints, and the brain, designed to protect, remembers those imprints clearly. The amygdala, a small structure deep inside your mind, reacts to emotional threat faster than you can think. It doesn't judge if the threat is real or imagined. It only wants to shield you from pain. So when you attempt something new, something bold, it replays old warnings, not to hurt you, to keep you safe, but safety can become a cage if left unquestioned. You begin to obey fear without realizing it. You shrink your potential to avoid discomfort, and each time you listen to that voice, you reinforce its script. But what if you are not the voice? What if you are the one hearing it? The one who can choose whether it's believed? This is the turning point. The shift from victim to author, from follower of thought to conscious decider of belief. You are not broken. You've simply been listening to a program that was never fully yours. And now you have the awareness to interrupt it, to breathe instead of react, to challenge instead of accept, to speak back, not with anger, but with truth. I am not that voice. I am the one who sees it. That is your power. That is your freedom. From this point forward, every time the old message arises, let it be a signal, not to obey, but to awaken. You are not your doubt. You are the presence behind it. Now that you've recognized the voice behind your hesitation, it's time to act before it speaks again. Because clarity without motion becomes another form of resistance. Awareness opens the door, but action is what carries you through. And the mind, while powerful, needs direction. When you hesitate, even for a moment, your brain begins scanning for danger. It doesn't search for truth. It searches for reasons to stop. It triggers the prefrontal cortex to generate excuses that feel logical, but are rooted in fear. That's why new intentions fade so quickly. The longer you wait, the louder the doubt becomes. But there is a simple method to bypass this reflex. It's not complex. It's not abstract. It's immediate. The 5-second rule. When you feel the urge to move, decide, or speak, but fear creeps in, you count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then move. No debate, no permission, just motion. This short countdown interrupts the habit loop. It gives you a brief window where instinct can rise before habit shuts it down. Neuroscience confirms this. The brain responds differently when paired with decisive action. You shift from survival mode to creative control. You become the one who initiates instead of delays. And each time you do it, you rewire the path, one choice at a time. You don't need motivation, you need momentum. Think now, what is something you've been postponing? A message not sent, a step not taken, a truth not spoken. Write it down. Feel the weight of the avoidance. Then prepare to release it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin. Even a small action shatters the illusion of paralysis. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real. Because once you move, even slightly, your energy shifts, the voice of hesitation weakens, and a new pattern begins to form. You become the one who follows through. the one who doesn't wait for certainty, but creates it. This is how transformation anchors, not through force, through forward motion. Always within reach, always your choice. One moment, one countdown, infinite change. Now that you've taken action, even in the smallest way, you've shifted momentum. But real change doesn't come from scattered movement. It comes from identity, from embodying a version of you that no longer needs convincing. The future doesn't respond to desire. It responds to alignment. The universe doesn't echo what you wish. It reflects what you are. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you consistently become. So let's turn everything around. Instead of asking how to become successful, ask what success feels like right now. Not someday, not when, now. Close your eyes and imagine the version of you who has already arrived. What does that self feel when they wake up? What do they believe without question? What do they no longer tolerate? What habits no longer belong to them? Feel the answers, not as fantasy, but as memory. Because here is the secret. Your brain cannot distinguish between experience and imagination when emotion is strong enough. That means you have the power to rehearse your reality before it arrives. And each time you do, your neural networks begin to change. Your chemistry shifts. Your posture, your energy, your words, all begin to align with a future that's already encoded inside you. You're not hoping anymore. You're remembering. You're not trying to force outcomes. You're anchoring into a timeline that already exists. 2 minutes a day. That's all it takes. 2 minutes of silence, of stillness, of stepping into the self that already knows. Speak from that place. Walk from that place. Think from that place. And soon, you won't be visualizing. You'll be embodying. The line between future and present will begin to blur. Not because you're chasing the result, but because you've become the cause. This is not imagination for escape. It's imagination for creation. You are not building from the ground up. You are revealing what has always been within reach. The frequency of your fulfilled self is already broadcasting. Tune into it. Respond as if it's done. Because in the quantum realm, it already is. When you begin living from the future you've already claimed, a powerful truth becomes impossible to ignore. The idea that you must wait to become ready begins to dissolve. Because readiness is not something you find. It is something you generate. The statement, "I will start when," may feel harmless. But it is one of the most dangerous beliefs you can hold. It postpones your growth behind an invisible gate that never opens on its own. No one ever truly feels prepared. The ones who shift their lives are not the most confident. They are simply the ones who move before certainty arrives. And in doing so, they create it. The paradox of preparation is this. The more you prepare without stepping forward, the less likely you are to begin. The mind, trying to protect you, keeps seeking perfection. But perfection is a moving target. You cannot think your way into transformation. You must step into it. Right now, in this moment, you are standing at a doorway. Every delay is a silent agreement with the version of reality you no longer want. Each hesitation is a vote for the old story. But when you choose to act, even while fear is present, you cast a different vote. You begin to exit the cycle. Not because everything is in place, but because you refuse to keep waiting for a feeling that never comes. Think of the person who changed their life not through a plan, but through a decision. One moment of bravery, one step into the unknown. That step rewrote the path. It always begins with one. You already know what needs to be done. You've known it for a while. The timing will never be perfect, but your alignment can be. And when alignment meets motion, the illusion of time collapses. The future is not waiting. It is watching. Watching for the moment you stop postponing and begin becoming. This is that moment. Not after you learn more. Not after fear fades. Now. because now is the only place your life actually changes. Now that you've seen through the illusion of waiting, there's one truth left to face. The world is not complete without you, and not the version of you shaped by fear or imitation. The real one, the original, the essence that no one else can replicate. Your frequency is unrepeatable. Your energy is encoded with something that no one else can carry. That's not philosophy. That's responsibility. The universe doesn't create duplicates. It creates design. And if you choose to withhold your light, a space remains unfilled. A gap stays open. Not because you are missing something, but because you haven't released what you already hold. The future doesn't demand perfection. It asks for presence. It asks for courage. It asks for you. So ask yourself this: what would your future self thank you for doing today? What action, no matter how small, would shift everything if you just committed to it now? Imagine writing a letter from that version of you who already crossed the bridge, who already took the leap, who already broke the pattern. What would they say to you in this exact moment? You may be surprised. The message would likely be simple: thank you. Thank you for showing up when it was easier to hide. Thank you for speaking when silence felt safer. Thank you for trusting what could not yet be seen. Because that single decision to move forward without guarantee is what created the life you were meant to live. You are not here by accident. You are not listening to these words by mistake. You are being reminded of who you've always been beneath the noise. That reminder is not meant to inspire you for a moment. It is meant to awaken your role in the unfolding of something greater. You are here to express what only you can, to step into the space only you were built for. And in doing so, you do not just change your own life. You change the lives of everyone your presence touches. So, rise. Begin. Become the one you were born to be. The world is waiting, not someday, today. You've reached the edge of the journey, but not the end. Because this was never just a video. It was a return. A reconnection to the part of you that never stopped believing, even when the world told you to forget. You are no longer unconscious. No longer operating from old loops that kept your power locked away. You are a living frequency. A transmitter of possibility. Every thought, every breath, every moment from this point forward can be a declaration of who you choose to become. Say it now with presence. I no longer manifest versions of myself that no longer serve me. Speak it not as a wish, but as a truth that vibrates in every cell. Because this time, you are not returning to the same cycle. You are shifting the signal entirely. And that shift begins with action. Not tomorrow, not later, right now. So here is your first step. Write down 3 things you will do differently starting today. Not grand gestures, just honest movements that reflect your new alignment. Then, create one simple nighttime ritual to end your day with intention. Before sleep, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and affirm who you truly are becoming. Let your dreams carry that energy forward. Finally, leave a comment below, not for engagement, but as a contract with your future. Write this: I have returned. From the darkness with the light inside me. Let the act of sharing it make it real. Let it anchor your decision. You are no longer seeking. You are remembering. And now, you begin the next phase. The expansion of your energy. The amplification of your impact. The unfolding of a life led by design, not by default. That's what we'll explore together in the next journey. But for now, feel this moment. Let it settle into your breath. Let it echo in your chest. Everything you need is already within reach. Everything is responding to your frequency. Not in the next day, not in another lifetime, but tonight. It's all waiting, not out there, within you. Begin now and never look back.